Hey everyone, I want to take some time in this video to explain how the course is organized, how I have put all the information together that you need each week so that you'll know how to find your way around and get what you need each week. So if you're watching this video, that means that you obviously went to your Brightspace homepage, you clicked on our course. That took you to our course homepage where you saw the announcement, the welcome announcement for week 1. And in that, I asked you to click on the content tab up at the top of the page. So when you clicked on that, that brought you to the content for our course, where all of the materials and assignments and discussions are located. You might have noticed that in addition to the content tab, there were several others that went across the top. The last one was called Course Tools, and I want to take a quick minute just to talk about that tab real quick. So if you click on Course Tools, you'll see a drop-down menu. It has several options listed. 3 of those options are discussions, quizzes, and assignments. So if you click on either of those 3 options, it will take you to that area of our course. For example, if you click on the discussions option, it will take you to the discussion area for our class. Theoretically, you would see a list of all the discussions for our course, but you guys only have access to whatever discussion is live that week. So you won't see a list. You'll only see the discussion that we're currently doing that week. And you can use that route to get to that week's discussion to make your posts. There's another way to get to the discussion though, which I'll talk about here in just a little bit. But you can go that route. It'll work. The next option was quizzes. So if you click on quizzes, it takes you to the quiz area for this course. There are none, so you won't see anything listed there. But for other courses that do have quizzes, you would see a list of every single quiz for the class. We don't have any. The third option was assignments. If you click on the assignments option under Course Tools, it will take you to a list of every single assignment for this class. You could try to use that route to get to your assignments for each week, but I advise against it for 2 reasons. First, that list is, like I said, every assignment for the whole class, so it might get confusing, and you might not know for sure which assignments we're working on for that week, so you might choose the wrong ones. The other reason that I advise against using that route to get to your assignments is you're bypassing all of the material that you're supposed to learn that week in order to complete the assignments the right way, successfully. Okay? So while those options are there, the only one that I really am okay with you using is the discussions. If you want to get to the weekly discussion through that route, you can. As I said, you don't have to. You'll find it in another spot as well. Alright, so what I would prefer that you do is go through the weekly module to get the material you need as well as the homework assignments. So you'll notice when you went to, if you're watching this video, that means you clicked on the Getting Started tab that was down the left-hand side of your screen in the course content. There were other tabs under that. There was week 1 module, week 2 module, all the way down to week 10 module. So obviously each of those tabs corresponds to each week of the course. In the Getting Started section, you had several sub-tabs appear. So you clicked on Getting Started and then several sub-tabs appeared underneath it. The first one was Meet Your Instructor, and the second one was Course Overview. The third one was this video. The next one is Attendance and Weekly Deadlines. If you have not looked that over yet, you definitely want to do that, especially if it's your first time taking an online class. That's where I go over how attendance and deadlines work. And then the last item under the Getting Started tab was the course syllabus. When you click on that, it is a PDF that shows up on the screen, so you can scroll down and read through the syllabus. Okay. So then you see week 1 module. Okay. I'd like to take a minute to talk about what you should expect each week in terms of time. So this is a 40-hour credit class. That means that throughout the 10-week term, you are supposed to spend 40 hours in class. When you take a class on campus, that gets accomplished really easily. You have the class scheduled to meet a certain day of the week for a certain amount of time, and that's a 4-hour chunk each week. So, 8 to noon, for instance, 8:30 to 12:30. That 4 hours is your in-class time. You do that for 10 weeks, that equals your 40 hours. On top of those 40 hours of in-class time, you are expected to complete roughly 2 hours of homework each week, 2 to 3. So that's 6 hours total. 4 hours of being in class, 2 hours of homework each week. But this is an online class, so you have to figure out on your own when you're going to get through everything that you're supposed to get through each week. And it should be about 6 hours each week. That includes going through all of the material that I've presented for you and the homework assignments. It's not going to be an even split since it's an online class, but you should expect roughly 6 hours total. It might be 4 hours of instruction and 2 hours of homework one week, and the next week it might be, 3 hours of instructional material and 3 hours of homework, right? So it's not going to be an even split because it is an online class, but that's where the 6 hour comes from, right? It's not just an arbitrary number that we decide to put in for online classes. It corresponds to the amount of in-class time you're supposed to have for the course and the amount of homework you're supposed to have for that course. When you're taking it on campus, you don't even think about it. You don't even think about those 4 hours. You just go to class each week. What really, makes the biggest impact for you is the amount of time you're spending on homework out of class that week. You're doing everything at home. So it's going to seem like this class is a lot of work because you're doing 6 hours of stuff at home each week for this class. But you have to remember 4 of those hours are what you would have been doing in the classroom on campus. And we still have to do that. Just because it's an online class doesn't mean it's okay, all you have to do is assignments. You're not learning anything then. You still have to learn the material that you're supposed to be taught for that course, and then do some homework on top of that. So, if you can keep that in mind, those 4 hours and then the 2 hours of homework, that might help you understand more how each week is organized. Okay? So, under the Getting Started tab, the first tab that you'll see is the Week 1 module. So if you click on Week 1 module, you have the instructions there for you on the right-hand side. Week 1 module, instructions for Week 1. So you got a little paragraph there, and then an outline. And that outline tells you everything you need to do for Week 1. All of the material you need to go through to learn what you're supposed to learn for the first week, as well as the homework assignments for the first week. So you'll notice that under week 1 instructions, the first item on the outline is syllabus review. And it says read over course syllabus, and it tells you where you can find both versions of the course syllabus. I have a PDF version as well as a link to a Word document. So you read over the course syllabus, and then you watch the course syllabus video. So syllabus review is the first item on the outline. It also happens to be the first sub-tab under the week 1 module. So you click on syllabus review, and there's a little blurb there, explaining what you need to do. You'll see the blue link to the Word document for the syllabus, and then you'll see a video. In that video, I go over the important information for the course syllabus, right? The second item on the outline for the week 1 instructions is Rhetorical Situation. And it tells you to look over the PowerPoint for Rhetorical Situation and watch the video for Rhetorical Situation. And lo and behold, Rhetorical Situation is the second sub-tab in the week 1 module. So you click on Rhetorical Situation, and it tells you this lesson contains a PowerPoint and a video lesson. Please look over these items as they will help you with this week's homework. And the first item under Rhetorical Situation is the PowerPoint, and the next item is the video lesson. The third item on the outline for the week 1 instructions is pre-writing. And again, it's telling you to look over the PowerPoint and watch the video. And lo and behold, pre-writing is the third sub-tab under the week 1 module. Click on it, and it tells you this lesson contains a PowerPoint and a video lesson. Please look over both, right? And the first thing listed under pre-writing is the PowerPoint, and the next thing is the video lesson. Same thing with thesis statements, which is the next item on the outline. Same thing with introductions, which is the next item. The last item on the outline is the week 1 homework assignments. And lo and behold, that is also the last sub-tab in the week 1 module. So you can see them listed there on the outline, and you can click on the week 1 homework assignments sub-tab, and they are listed underneath that for you as well. So everything that's on that outline for the weekly instructions matches up exactly to the sub-tabs for that week's module underneath the module tab. The outline tells you what you need to do. The module tabs tell you what you need to do. The sub-tabs tell you what you need to do. So you can find that information in both places, but they match up exactly. So if you're ever unsure, look at the outline. It matches up to the order of how you're supposed to go through the material in the module. And I do list them in the order I want you to cover them. So whatever's first, do that first. Then, go through the outline in order. Because everything builds, right? So what you learn in one lesson, you're going to build on that in the next lesson. So you want to go through everything in the order I've listed it. And then, of course, that means the homework is listed last because you need to go through everything else first in order to understand the homework assignments. Okay? So, a little bit about how I give you the materials each week. You'll notice there, when I was going through the instructions for the week 1 module, there were a lot of PowerPoints and videos. That's typically how you're going to get most of the material. I will have a PowerPoint that you can go through, and I will follow that up with a video where I go through the PowerPoint and explain everything in a little more detail, and make sure that you're understanding what's happening in the PowerPoint. So, ideally, I even give you instructions on how to pull up the video in a different tab in your browser so that you can go back and forth between the PowerPoint and the video, right? Ideally, you would go over both. You would look at the PowerPoint and watch the video. You at least want to do one or the other. Most of you will be tempted to only look at the PowerPoints, and you might be okay doing that. I'm not going to lie, that might be enough. And if you've got your textbook on top of it that you're using to kind of support you as you go through the PowerPoint, you might not need to watch every single video lesson that I have included in every single lesson. But it's there for you. If you're not understanding something, if a PowerPoint is a little more confusing than normal, if the material itself is a little harder to, wrap your brain around, watch the video lesson. And I really hope everybody watches all the videos, because it's me trying to connect with you and give you as close to the same experience that we would have in the classroom as possible. All right. But at the very least, you want to go through the PowerPoints. Maybe listen to the video in the background while you're doing the dishes or something like that. You don't have to sit glued to your screen hanging on my every word when you watch the video. But maybe at least have it on, like I said, in the background so that you're at least hearing my explanation of the PowerPoints and the lessons. Okay. So that's how you go through the material for each week and you get the lessons, what you're supposed to learn. PowerPoints and videos, for the most part, right? So that last sub-tab, though, going back to that, was the homework assignments for week 1. They were listed on the outline for the course, for the instructions for week 1, but they're listed here underneath week 1 homework assignments in the week 1 module also. This is how I suggest getting to the assignments each week, not going across to the, the top to the course tools section and choosing the drop-down menu. I suggest doing it here in the module. Go to that week, go through the material, and then go to the assignments from that sub-tab in that module. When you click on, for instance, week 1 homework assignments, you're going to see a little blurb there on the right-hand side. I give you 3 bullet points, some, helpful tips for how to go through the assignments each week. And it reminds you to go through this week's module material before attempting the homework. Be sure to complete the homework in the order I have them listed, right? So even the homework assignments sometimes build on each other. This does not apply to the weekly discussion, though. So even though it's listed last every time, you can do the discussion whenever. It does not have to be in a specific order. But that's actually why I list it last. So that way you can just do it whenever. Some assignments will contain video explanations. Be sure to watch those videos to ensure you understand what is required of you. Okay? So, when you go to the very first homework item that's listed under the week 1 homework assignments, it's the Syllabus Acknowledgement. So when you click on Syllabus Acknowledgement, on the right-hand side of the screen, you're going to see a little, blue link that says Go to Assignment. You click on that, and the page will refresh, and it will take you to that specific homework item. You'll see written instructions every time. For every assignment, I give you written instructions. For this particular one, the Syllabus Acknowledgement, I only give you written instructions because it's really easy and self-explanatory. Other homework items, though, not only will there be written instructions, but there will be a short little video that you can watch where I explain exactly what you need to do. You know what's best for you. If you are a, visual learner and reading is all you need, then you might not need to watch the video. If you do better hearing it, then clearly the video is going to be helpful to you. But just know that even if you skip the video and you start working on the assignment and you're like, oh man, this is confusing, what the heck? Go back and watch the video. You can go back and watch it. And it might help explain some things for you. So hopefully between the written instructions and the little video that I provide, you'll understand exactly what you need to do in order to complete each homework assignment. Even for the discussions, I give you a little video. Okay? Now, some of the homework items will be text submission items. For instance, the Syllabus Acknowledgement assignment. That means when you click on that assignment, you'll read the instructions, and then there'll be a text box underneath where you can just directly type in your answers, and then hit submit. Other homework items will require you to type something up in a Word document. Most of the time, if that's the case, if a Word document is required, I will actually provide you a link in the instruction area to a Word document that already has the questions on it. And that way, you just need to download that to your computer, type in your answers, save it, and then upload it to submit it. Okay? I try to make that as easy as possible for you. But you also still have the option of creating your own Word document, especially if you're working in Google Docs or OneDrive or something like that. The questions will be there in the instruction area with the written instructions, so you'll still have access to them even if you can't open the Word document. So you have both. You have them in the instructions for you to look at, and then you can type your answers into your own Word document and submit it, or you can go directly to the Word document I provide in the link. Either way. So I will always let you know in the instructions if it's a text submission or if it requires a Word document. Okay. If you ever have any questions, though, I'm always here to answer and help you out as much as I can. So that is how each week is set up. If you look at week 2, when you click on the week 2 module, you'll see the assignment instructions. And it works the exact same way. There'll be the outline there in the instructions, and every item on the outline matches up with the subtabs in the week 2 module. And the last subtab is the homework assignments for that week. Everything is set up the exact same way every single week, same format. So once you kind of get the hang of it in week 1 and 2, the rest of the term, you're going to know exactly what you need to do each week because it's set up exactly the same. Okay? Let's see. Anything else that I wanted to point out to you guys? Talked about how everything's organized, how to get to the homework assignments, text submission, Word documents, videos, and the assignments. Oh, if you aren't sure how to complete an assignment, literally, I mean like the logistics of typing in your answer and hitting, the submit button. How do I start a thread in the weekly discussion? Okay. I am here to answer those questions, but obviously it will be more of either text messaging or over the phone. If you want a visual on how to, do a lot of these things that you're going to be asked to do in Brightspace, when you go to your Brightspace homepage where your courses are listed, one of the courses that's available to you, and it will remain available to you, is called Learner Training Course. If you click on that class, down the left-hand side, there'll be a lot of options for you in the course content, all different kinds of things that you might have questions about, where to find this, how to do that. They offer short little video tutorials where you can see where they're going, what they're clicking on, how they're doing it. And each one's usually less than 5 minutes long. So really helpful. It gives you a visual that might help you a little bit more than just hearing me explain it, but I am always here if you do need my help. I will gladly do whatever I can, okay? So that's how the course is laid out. If you can keep all of that in mind, you should have no issues at all. It should be pretty smooth sailing. Be sure, if you haven't yet, to watch the attendance and weekly deadlines video, especially if this is your first online class. It's the next item in the Getting Started section. And when you start the week 1 module material, pay attention to some of the policies that I talk about when I go over the syllabus, okay? If you have any questions about anything, let me know.